Good morning, students. Today's lesson is on patience. The title of our story is The Man Who Learned to Be Patient. Don't be impatient. Is that what you are always told? Or have you already learned the lesson of patience? Many years ago, in the kingdom of Egypt lived the Hebrew people. There they were slaves and greatly suffered as they were subjected to forced labor. The Pharaoh, the Egyptian ruler, feared that the Hebrews would rebel against him. Therefore, he ordered the Hebrew midwives to cast any Hebrew newborn male into the great Nile River. But the midwives didn't follow the Pharaoh's orders. So, the Pharaoh gave the order to all his people. During those times, a male child was born to one of the Hebrew families that lived there. He was a special child. A great mission awaited him as an adult. To protect him from the soldiers, his mother placed him in a floating basket and left him in the river. A short while later, while she bathed in the river, the Pharaoh's daughter saw the basket. When she realized it contained a baby, she was surprised. She wanted to keep the baby and later gave him the name Moses, which means drawn out of the water. Since Moses was very young, the princess left him in the care of a nursemaid for her to educate him. Do you know who was the nursemaid? His own mother. And so, the child wound up returning to his home. Jochebed, his mother, could now educate him without fearing the soldiers, as her son was now the son of the princess. One day he too would be a prince. During that time, the patient mother taught Moses everything that would make him an honorable prince. She taught him that he was a son of God and that he should love him above anything else, and that God expects all his children to be good, obedient, pure, and sincere. Together they would sing and pray. She also told him that they were there as slaves, but that God had promised a liberator who would free them from that place. She always reminded him that, thanks to a miracle, he was saved from dying in the Nile River. Next, the sad day came when Moses had to leave his birth family to join the royal family. Upon arriving at the palace, he was dressed as an Egyptian. He was also educated in law, military science, and other disciplines that all Egyptian princes must learn. Moses became a respected young man in Egypt, but had yet to learn something very important: patience. Because of his lack of patience, he committed a very serious act. If the Pharaoh had discovered him, he would have been very angry. Frightened, Moses fled to a faraway place. He went to live in the country where there were no comforts and luxuries of the palace. Moses' special mission was to liberate the Hebrews from slavery. God needed a brave man, but one who also had patience. He lived for years in the country, looking after sheep, observing how plants germinated, bloomed, and matured. Moses learned to be patient, less impulsive, and more humble. Now, at this time, he could finally carry out his mission. It was not easy for Moses to return to Egypt and free the Hebrews from there. In addition to the Egyptians' wrath, he even suffered criticism from the Hebrews. After they left Egypt, Moses led the Hebrews through the desert for 40 years toward the land that God had promised, Canaan. So much patience was required. Many were disobedient and constantly complained. He had to solve all of the problems that arose, and on many occasions he felt alone and sad. Moses led his people only to the edge of the promised land. However, he fulfilled his mission after having learned the lesson of patience. To this day, Moses is recognized as a great religious leader, legislator, and prophet. He is also the author of the Pentateuch, the Bible's first 5 books. According to the Bible, he received at Mount Sinai the tablets of the law of God the 10 Commandments. He is also known as the gentlest person on earth. That's it for today, students. Hope you understood the story and learned its moral. God bless. Have a great day.